Millions of people are getting vaccinated against COVID-19 every day now, and states are beginning to loosen restrictions.
So the question now is, when will we reach herd immunity? Dr. Marty Makary with Johns Hopkins thinks we'll get there by April. He's joining us now to break it all down. Good to see you tonight, Doc.
Good to see you, Jim and Sarah.
So talk to me here about the idea of herd immunity. It was something that was thrown around at the very beginning of this pandemic, but clearly it requires these vaccinations to get critical mass, but April is pretty soon.
Yeah, herd immunity is not binary. It's not all or nothing. If you've gone to the Johns Hopkins information website anytime during the pandemic, you've seen a definition of herd immunity that it's roughly when a majority of people have had immunity from something in the past, either natural immunity from prior infection or from vaccinations. And the reality is it's slowing, right? It represents slowing of the spread, and we are seeing some slowing. Not to give good news to encourage people to let up their guard, but this is something we've got to interpret scientifically, and it does appear that we're on track for there to be significant slowing in certain parts of the country in April and into May.
And that kind of brings me to the next question here. As you mentioned, it doesn't mean people can let up. You know, the news has come out. Texas lifted the mask mandate. They're kind of getting back out there and against a lot of people's better judgment. People are saying, no, we shouldn't be doing that. Does that affect your prediction of an April herd immunity date?
Well, if I were advising those governors, I would have advised against those announcements. Lifting restrictions is one thing. On capacity, that leaves the businesses to decide. But it's important for us to have good messaging on masking, and I don't think ultimately it'll have a significant impact. In fact, those who go out and get infected now will probably have immunity come April.
And considering the fact that they've really stepped up the administration of a lot of these vaccines, we're seeing it here in D.C. I know it's frustrating for a lot of people. There are a lot of people who are watching. They're waiting for their number to come up. They're waiting for that vaccine. Obviously, for those people, at least that knowledge that we're turning a corner here is good news, although for them, they should still hold out hope, I would say, and get that vaccine, correct?
Yeah, gosh, it's an emotional moment for so many people. You know, they've been cocooned for a long time following a lot of the public health mitigation steps we've recommended. People have made huge sacrifices, but we're doing pretty well. We've got about 20% of the entire D.C. population immunized with at least one dose. Now, the immunity doesn't kick in for a good 4 weeks, so don't get your vaccine and then go straight out to a concert, but we're doing pretty well.
And just also to let people know, you know, and I know some of us have heard this, but maybe for those people out there who have not, if you get vaccinated, doesn't mean that you can just go out, take the mask off, run around, do whatever you want to do. You can still be a carrier of COVID-19, correct, and pass it along to somebody else.
That's exactly right, Sarah. And it's important to remember that in the first 10 days or so after your vaccine, you have essentially no immunity. So you don't really want to do anything differently. Once you get to 4 weeks out, that's when I think it's good to live your life and be with family, do things, and start getting back to what looks like a normal life.
Doc, my parents got both of their Moderna shots. They wrapped up last week. My dad asked, when can I go to the casino again? So I'll tell him, Dr. Marty Makary says 4 weeks from now is when you can go, right?
That's right. Gamble safely.
Dr. Marty Makary from Johns Hopkins, we appreciate you tonight. Thank you.